Welcome to the latest edition of our A.T. Kearney's Wave of the Future podcast series. I'm Helen Clegg, and I'm excited to be moderating today's discussion on innovation. In fact, this is part one in a two-part podcast series, during which we'll be talking with three finalist companies of the International IMP扫ve Award for 2015. In just a moment, Kai Engel, a partner with A.T. Kearney, will tell us more about the award, but right now I'd like to welcome our speakers in this first podcast, who are from Tarkett, a global integrated flooring solutions company. Anne-Christine Ayed is Research, Innovation and Environment Executive Vice President, and Christophe Reither is Director, Perspective and Opportunity Exploration at Tarkett. And they join us today from Luxembourg. Welcome, Anne-Christine and Christophe, and congratulations to everyone at Tarkett on winning the award category for large companies. To set the scene, I want to bring in Kai here to briefly explain the award to our listeners. Kai, how does the International IMP扫ve Award work, and why is innovation important for companies today?
Yeah, thank you, Helen. So the International IMP扫ve Award is granted to companies that have demonstrated growth based on their approach to innovation management. So, which basically means there's a strong capability set with regard to designing the innovation strategy, with regard to the openness of the culture, the respective organizational setup, strong processes from idea creation through idea and innovation execution, and significant amount of enabling factors which are well developed. So why is innovation important these days? I think in the competitive environment around the globe, the speed of coming up with new differentiation criteria is continuously increasing. In that regard, it's very, very important to excel on innovation management capabilities for all companies around the globe. It's becoming more a race of speed on being able to create new stuff than anything else. So that's the reason why it's so important.
Kai, that's really interesting, thank you. And can you tell us a little bit about how the award was set up and how it worked?
Basically, we started the award in its early days with the Best Innovator competition in Germany, basically developed the framework, the backbone as the foundation. So this is now almost, I would say, 14 years ago. So we started in 2002 in Germany, developed the A.T. Kearney House of Innovation. And from there, we took it through more than 20 countries in the meantime. And also, at a certain point in time, with the support of the European Commission, we always continue to build a database on best practice innovation management. In the meantime, we founded an entity which is called the IMP扫ve Academy. And the IMP扫ve Academy basically comprises all the knowledge on these benchmark data, and is also the host of the International IMP扫ve Award, where we basically leverage winners from the Best Innovator as well from national IMP掃ve Award approaches, and all together we put in a big basket of potential applicants and award then the International IMP掃ve Award as one of the best out of the winners of each of these different competitions. In 2015, we had over 100 nominations from more than 2,000 applicants from around the world. There were applicants from China, from US, from Brazil, from Europe, and so on and so forth. So widespread. We used a high caliber jury in order to just name a few of the organizations being involved. It's a World Intellectual Property Organization. The OECD was represented, and also World Economic Forum, in order to nominate and at the end also identify the winner of the International IMP扫ve Award. The award ceremony, it took place in Istanbul last year. We were honored to head Prime Minister Erdogan with several ministers in the room in order to basically hand over the award and being also recognized by the Turkish government. And we are looking basically forward now to the running next award this year. But nevertheless, I think we'll come to that later. So that was basically the setup and the story of how we came to the International IMP掃ve Award.
Thanks, Kai. Christophe, your company Tarkett is a leader in flooring and sports surface solutions, selling around 1.3 million square meters of flooring every day. Can you describe for us Tarkett's approach to innovation and tell us about the smart flooring solution for the healthcare sector that your company has invented?
Yeah, innovation is at the core of Tarkett vision, as we want to be the global leader in innovative flooring and sports surface solutions to grow faster and be more profitable than our competition. Our innovation strategy supports Tarkett organic growth and geographic expansion. In line with our company strategy, our innovation strategy from strategic foresighting and identification of potential future to the creation of new businesses for Tarkett always include lead users in its innovation opportunities. We foster open innovation in partnering with renowned centers of competencies and companies to achieve our objectives in terms of technical and financial performances as well as customer usages. Tarkett innovation confirms our market leadership from flooring products to solutions and services for connected living spaces. Designed by our Research and Innovation Center, Flooring Motion Care is a good example of Tarkett's user-centered innovation. It creates an integrated service solution linking flooring sensors to a world system of data capture, monitoring, and alerts accessible via cloud by computer, tablet, smartphones 24/7. For the benefit of all stakeholders, from patients to their families, to caregivers teams and healthcare facility managers, it's a discrete and invisible service that preserves individual privacy. Flooring Motion Care offers an effective daily tool for staff to monitor behavior and be informed about incidents as, for example, fall, intrusion, or unauthorized exit events. It ensures a highly reactive service, sending real-time alerts to the teams that can act quickly to help a patient. Taking advantage of this success, we are developing in our incubator new applications of interactive surfaces based on this technology and for sure over.
That's incredibly interesting, Christophe, about linking with the sensors and flooring, something I'd never even thought about. So a little bit more about open innovation. And Christine, I'd like to bring you in here and ask you to tell us a little bit more about the innovation process at Tarkett. Is it run through a separate department, or is innovation positively encouraged throughout all of the departments in Tarkett?
So open innovation is really at the core of our innovation strategy at Tarkett. It actually represents a significant portion of our research and innovation budget. It means, so what does that mean? Open innovation, partnerships with suppliers, universities, startups, and companies from other industries, so typically non-competing companies. And so when we talk about partnerships in Tarkett, we're not talking just about gentleman agreements. We talk about having joint development contract in place. We follow our innovation process either during the exploration phase or through the stage gate process when we move to project development at a later stage. Our innovation center is based here in Luxembourg, so it's not far from several Tarkett plants to avoid to working in silos. It's open to all Tarkett division and functions. However, we also have innovation projects that are more regional, so in the different parts of the world. And so we have developed more innovation labs, which are more satellites of the Research Innovation Center in Luxembourg, one based in the US and soon one that will be based in China.
And Christine, you mentioned when you were talking just now about open innovation, you mentioned partnerships. Can you tell us a little bit more about those partnerships that you have?
When I mean partnerships, I go back to companies. So we have, for instance, startups that have technologies that either we have a license agreement or we have a joint development, well, moving, potentially a joint venture. So Flow in Motion, for instance, is a technology that didn't exist in Tarkett. We've been scouting the existing technologies. We've chose a specific technology that we thought was really differentiating from our competitors after we had scanned these other technologies. And we have put in place a partnership, it's a 3-4 years contract, and with their team of our partner, we've developed this technology adapted to floor in motion. And so we have many examples like this. We also have university partnerships to develop new technologies. We have a research lab with whom we have the development of new technologies. We have partnerships with NGOs when it comes to new business models. So this is really the way we work. I mean, it's not just companies or people from outside, because we obviously have a team in Tarkett working also on innovation. But this good balance between external and internal has been very positive to us.
So really, co-collaboration and partnership is really something in the Tarkett DNA, if you will.
I think it's become a part of our DNA. We started 5 years ago, and the external R&D or external partnership budget has been increasing year on year, probably more rapidly even than the global innovation budget. So I don't know if it's our DNA, but for sure it's truly embedded in our innovation strategy.
So, Anne-Christine, as a leader in innovation management, what further aspirations does Tarkett have, and how do you think these are going to be operationalized?
I think we have had quite a few innovations over the last 5-6 years, but if our ambition is to have more of a technology push marketing pull balance. A lot has been pushed more than it's been inspired by market needs or requests from our marketing teams. Our company is an industrial company which has operational excellence. And our challenge is to better balance more risky, new to the industry, new to the market innovation with incremental innovation that are inspired either by the competition or quickly beneficial efficiency projects. We have had a few successes, rental projects leading and changing the industry standards. We have the floor in motion, but we need more of them. We are aware of the need to have more marketing pull rather than technology push, and this the executive management committee is planning to work on this in the coming months. So this is on the top of our agenda in terms of priority moving forward.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about digital, because we're living in an increasingly digital world. So, Christophe, I want to come back to you and ask you about the impact of digital technologies on Tarkett's innovation processes and on its product innovation.
Digital technology has become an interesting component of our working lives. But this technology can certainly make it easier, quicker, and less expensive for all people and teams to communicate with one another. The virtual collaboration in visual workplace will become an increasingly common organizational form, and will have certainly an impact on the way companies like Tarkett will manage innovation in the future. Regarding product innovation, I think digital products and services must not only be efficient to use and easy to learn, but also provide a rich user experience. Tarkett clearly articulates the value proposition of each digital product and service. It involves gathering intelligence on various and new devices in order to identify and exploit opportunities for innovation across emerging use cases and new user behaviors.
Christophe, if we think about the future, digital obviously is here now and is going to increase. What other trends do you think will change how innovation will be managed by Tarkett, say in 2030, in another sort of 15 years? And how is the company preparing for this?
Wow. Imagining how innovation will be managed at Tarkett or elsewhere in 2030 is like reading in a crystal ball. And this is really an exercise in which I will not venture. But nevertheless, digitally enriched products, including flexible electronic, nano components or particles, and digitally enhanced services, including cloud-based technologies and big data, will have impacts on how we will, in the next decade at Tarkett, manage innovation opportunities. These technologies requires new skills, and Tarkett is supporting mechanisms for encouraging continuous learning of the unique properties of digital, new and emerging technologies in order to set up within its incubator dynamic innovation teams and business models.
Okay, thanks for that. Anne-Christine, coming back to you, I want to talk a little bit about the International IMP3rove Award. What would your advice be to other companies considering participating in the next award?
Well, I think first they should go for it. It really helps stepping back, reflecting on what has been achieved or not achieved. Second, it's also a good benchmark again to other companies, and it allows to identify areas for improvement, which we should never stop doing this, right? This is important to understand where we are versus others. And finally, and I think it's the same for companies that will join. And finally, it's good for the teams internally if for us like Tarkett who received an award to be recognized for all the hard work. I think it's motivating, and it's also positive in terms of external communication.
And Anne-Christine, one last question to you as we come to the end of this podcast. I know that sustainability is close to your heart. What part can innovation play in sustainability initiatives, and how is Tarkett contributing to the circular economy?
So sustainability is one of the three Tarkett innovation drivers. We started a few years ago with eco-design. But we've now moved to closed-loop circular design, which are based on the cradle-to-cradle principles. So what that means is we want to create solutions that use only good materials, i.e. are abundant, recycled, and easy replenished, that do not harm people or the planet, and that can be easily disassembled and 100% recycled or decomposed naturally. So this is an ambitious objective, but that we really put in place with all the product and we design in Tarkett. And this goes also with the development of take-back systems and new recycling technologies. So the only way to achieve these ambition goals, is to innovate in product design, in materials, and new process technologies. We're working with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and we're very active in the project Main Street within the World Economic Forum. And we're also a funding member of the C100 International, soon a funding member of the C100 in the US that will be launched the end of March in San Francisco. We're a member of the French Institut de l'Économie Circulaire, etc., in many countries, because we want to help lead that change. Our CEO is also very involved in the World Economic Forum, as well as the division presidents, both in the US and in Europe, because we can't really achieve these ambitious goals and reaching and the development of a circular economy as a standalone company. This goes with partnering, innovating with others, collaborating with others, and this is really where we concentrate most of our efforts right now.
Thanks, Anne-Christine. Great to hear that Tarkett is so involved in the circular economy. Kai, I'd just like to turn back to you now to ask you what advice you'd give to companies wanting to implement a robust innovation management process.
Thank you for that question, Helen. I think many companies we've seen so far struggle a bit with thinking about innovation holistically, and also accepting that innovation management is a capability which could be developed. Many companies or people or also leaders from large corporates we talk to put quite often innovation management immediately in just the creative corner. But at the end, it's really something where you need to think about incremental innovation, step change innovation. You need to think about breakthrough innovation. You can talk about changes in processes, products, business models. So it's a wide range. And in principle, it's all about investing into the future in order to build the foundation for profitable growth in the future. So building up this capability, it's always good to know where you stand. So all the benchmarks we can provide and the assessment tools we have with the database behind provide very good orientation for large corporates as well as for small ones. The advice would be, in a nutshell, probably reach out to us and probably start with a brief exercise on where you're currently standing with regard to innovation management capabilities, and then work from there.
And on that note, I'd like to thank Anne-Christine Ayed and Christophe Reither from Tarkett for being my guests today. It's been extremely interesting hearing about Tarkett's approach to innovation management. Our second podcast on this topic features 2 more finalists from the International IMP扫 Award, so be sure to listen in to hear their insights on innovation. Thanks to Kai Engel of A.T. Kearney and to our production engineer Tom Klein. Thank you for listening to this edition of The Wave of the Future. If you have any comments on this podcast or have a suggestion for a podcast topic, please share your thoughts via Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @ATKearney. This has been an A.T. Kearney podcast production. Join us again soon for our next Wave of the Future podcast.